Hey coin collectors and history lovers! Welcome back to your #1 channel for rare coins and their amazing stories. In today's video, we're diving into the coppery charm of the 1976 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny. What's it worth? Is it rare? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1976 penny features the famous profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, designed by Victor D. Brenner way back in 1909. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which was used from 1959 to 2008. Did you know? 1976 was a big year for America. It marked 200 years of independence, the bicentennial. However, the Lincoln penny didn't get a special design that year. Only the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coin did. The 1976 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams, which makes it slightly heavier than today's post-1982 pennies that are mostly made of zinc. So yes, older pennies like this one actually have more metal value. Over 8.7 billion pennies were made in 1976. Here's how they break down: Philadelphia Mint ***, no mint mark around 4.6 billion. Denver Mint ***, with D Mint mark about 4.2 billion. San Francisco Mint ***, struck proof coins only, just over 4 million of those. All of this means one thing: the 1976 penny is not rare, at least in circulated condition. But wait, there are exceptions. If you've got a regular circulated 1976 penny, it's worth just 1 cent in most cases. But don't throw it away just yet. Because of the high copper content, these coins have a melt value of about 2 to 3 cents, but melting them is illegal under US law, so for collectors, the real value comes down to condition and rarity. Now here's where things get exciting. If your 1976 penny is in uncirculated condition, MS65 or higher, it could fetch 25 to 50 cents, or more depending on the buyer. That's 25 times its face value. A 1976 penny with a double die error once sold for over $100. And let's not forget the San Francisco proof coins, minted especially for collectors. These have a shiny, mirror-like finish and were never meant for circulation. A 1976 S-proof penny in perfect PR69 condition can be worth $2 to $5, sometimes more. So, what should you do if you have a 1976 penny? Check for mint marks, look for errors, check the condition. No scratches, wear, or damage. Use a coin grading guide or get it professionally graded if it looks perfect. To sum it up, your average 1976 penny may only be worth face value, but there's treasure hiding in plain sight if you know what to look for. Whether you're collecting for fun or for profit, the Lincoln penny is a great place to start. To understand the story of the 1976 Lincoln penny, we have to go back to the early 1900s. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president and one of its most iconic leaders. T was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, are still visible today at the bottom of Lincoln's shoulder. The year 1976 was no ordinary year. The United States celebrated its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. To commemorate this major event, the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial versions of the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins with unique reverse designs featuring patriotic themes. Well, surprisingly, the Lincoln cent didn't get a bicentennial redesign. The Mint decided to keep the Lincoln Memorial design that had been in use since 1959. Why? Possibly because Lincoln already had a strong historical presence on the coin, and changing it might have seemed unnecessary or too costly. By 1976, the Lincoln penny had become an everyday part of American life. The reverse design showing the Lincoln Memorial, by Frank Gasparo, had been introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The design was symbolic, showing not just a memorial to a president, but also featuring tiny figures of Lincoln visible between the pillars of the memorial, tying both sides of the coin together. The 1976 penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like most Lincoln cents minted before 1982. These copper coins are heavier and more valuable in terms of metal content compared to the newer, mostly zinc versions. So, the 1976 penny is part of that final era of true copper cents, which is one reason why collectors still keep an eye out for them today. While the 1976 penny might not look special at first glance, it actually carries the legacy of 2 centuries of American history, linking a great president a powerful symbol, and one of the most celebrated years in the country's past. The 1988 1-cent penny. That's right, the classic Lincoln cent from 1988. We'll talk about its circulated value, key facts, and whether it's worth holding on to or just spending. So if you're a coin collector or just curious about those pennies you find in your pocket, this video is for you. Let's start with some background. The 1988 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which was minted from 1959 all the way to 2008. This penny features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The 1988 penny was struck at two different U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, and Denver, which uses the D mint mark. Both versions are copper-plated zinc coins, a composition that started in 1982. Before that, pennies were mostly copper. So by 1988, pennies were mainly zinc, with just a thin copper coating. Because of this composition, the 1988 penny weighs about 2.5 grams and is 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Now here's the big question. What is the circulated value of a 1988 penny? The straightforward answer is, usually just face value, which is 1 cent. Why? Because the 1988 pennies are very common and were minted in the hundreds of millions. Unless your coin is in pristine condition or has a rare error, it's generally not worth more than its face value. If you happen to have a 1988 penny in uncirculated condition or with a special error, like a double die or off-center strike, it can be worth more. For example, a 1988 penny in MS65, mint state, condition might fetch around $0.20 to $1.00 from collectors. Error pennies from this year can range from a few dollars up to $50 or more, depending on rarity. But keep in mind, most pennies you find in your change will be well circulated and worth just a penny, so, should you save your 1988 pennies? Here's my advice: if you're just starting a collection, keep a few 1988 pennies in good condition to represent that year. Look closely for errors or unusual features like double dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These can add value. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting when inspecting pennies. You can check coins against online guides or ask local coin dealers if you suspect you have something special. Most circulated 1988 pennies will fall somewhere between good and very fine grades. Where do you find these coins? Mostly anywhere you find pennies. They're common in change from cash transactions, coin rolls you can buy from banks' coin collections, and lots online, sometimes even in old jars or coin boxes at home. Because they are so common, the 1988 penny is a great coin for beginners to learn about grading and error collecting. To sum it up, the 1988 penny is mostly a common coin, worth just a cent in circulated condition. But if you find a special error or a mint condition example, there could be some extra value there for collectors. Oh, keep an eye out. Keep your coins clean and safe, and who knows, you might discover a hidden gem. Let's rewind the clock and talk about the history behind the 1988 penny, because every coin has a story. The penny, officially called the 1-cent coin, is the smallest denomination in U.S. currency, and its design has a rich legacy dating back over 100 years. The face of the penny features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who is one of the most revered figures in American history. The design of Lincoln's portrait on the penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This was a big deal because it was the first time a U.S. president appeared on a circulating coin. The artist behind this iconic design was Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, appear on the coin near Lincoln's shoulder. Fast forward to 1959, the back of the penny was changed from the original wheat ears design, called the Wheat Penny, to the Lincoln Memorial, to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. This Lincoln Memorial design stayed on pennies from 1959 until 2008. The 1988 penny you see today carries this same classic design, Lincoln's profile on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now, a big change happened in 1982, just 6 years before 1988. The U.S. Mint switched the penny's composition from mostly copper to mostly zinc, coated with a thin copper layer. This change was made to reduce production costs because copper prices were rising. By 1988, every penny you picked up was primarily zinc with a copper coating. This composition gave the penny its familiar look but made it lighter than older copper pennies. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced over 3 billion pennies, split between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That's a lot of coins hitting circulation. Because so many were made, the 1988 penny is very common and easy to find today. Despite its humble status, the penny represents more than just money. It symbolizes history, culture, and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Every time you hold a penny, you're holding a small piece of American heritage. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 2007 United States 1-cent penny, a coin that's more common than rare but still holds some fascinating stories and value for collectors. Oh, what's special about the 2007 penny? Well, 2007 marked the 220th anniversary of the U.S. Mint producing the 1-cent coin, also famously known as the Lincoln penny. The design? It's the classic Lincoln penny, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design had been in use since 1959, but 2007 was actually the last full year before the Mint introduced the new shield design in 2010. In 2007, the U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of pennies. Over 8 billion pennies were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That means the 2007 penny is a very common coin in circulation. Alright, so how much is a 2007 penny worth? The short answer: if you just found one in your pocket, it's likely worth 1 cent. These pennies are primarily made of copper-plated zinc, with about 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Unlike older copper pennies minted before 1982, which have some intrinsic metal value, these newer ones don't hold much melt value due to their composition. But wait, are there any exceptions? Could a 2007 penny be worth more than face value? Yes. Collectors look for specific things. Pennies minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark, both exist, but neither is rare. From 2007, the 2007 penny has some minor error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing mint marks. Those error pennies can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to a couple $100 depending on rarity and condition. Uncirculated or proof pennies from 2007 in perfect condition can fetch a bit more among collectors, often between $1 to $5, but nothing astronomical if you want to hunt for valuable 2007 pennies. Here are some tips. Check for any doubling on the date or lettering, known as double die errors. Look for off-center strikes or weakly struck coins. Use a loop or magnifier to examine the details carefully. Compare with reference photos or visit coin collecting forums. So, should you start collecting 2007 pennies? If you're just starting out, it's a fun way to learn about coins and spot error coins. Most 2007 pennies you find in circulation are worth just face value, but finding an error or a perfect condition specimen can add excitement to your collection. To sum it up, the 2007 penny is common and mostly worth 1 cent, but keep an eye out for error coins or uncirculated specimens that might be worth a little more. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share with your fellow coin collectors, and comment below if you've ever found a rare penny from 2007. And if you want to see more coin videos like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!